CFA is really good, and I won't knock it because it's really useful for some things. However, if you were to be extremely realistic about a CFA, it is just a qualification that says you can be a financial analyst. A financial analyst or an analyst in general is usually, so there's no world of financial analysis. There's just, you're an analyst and then you're just not, and then there's everything else. The analyst is most of the time the first level of either an investment bank, or in terms of if you're in funds management, you're a research analyst, you're an investment banking analyst, or you're a research analyst, or whatever. A different type of analyst is just usually the entry level, unless you're a high. There's an entire thing where people hire analysts who have 20-30 years of experience as consultants and stuff like that, but that's completely different. But largely, analysts enter the workforce as young freshers, graduates. This degree will just tell you that, or this course will just tell you that, right, you're really good at a CFA, or you're really good at financial analysis, and you can do it, and we give you the certification. I'd say that unless you have plans of moving to the buy side, I'd say it's pretty pointless, because the buy side looks at, to give you perspective, so I'll be speaking about sell side and buy side, so I might as well explain it now. Sell side is, as the name suggests, you're selling commodities, or you're representing the sellers. The buy side is you're representing the buyers. The buy side usually consists of private equity, hedge funds, asset management, funds management, portfolio management, all these things. The sell side usually consists of investment banks, consulting companies, and so on and so forth. So of course, investment banks work both on the buy side and sell side, and there's a lot of things work on both the buy side and sell side, but largely these are two differences. The sell side would mean that a client comes to you, let's say X client comes to you and says, look, my company makes $300 million a year. I own 25% in it, but I want to retire, I want to raise, I want to get my money out and, have good fun with it, with my retirement. And you say, all right, we'll look for potential acquirers to your stake. Or if a company comes to you and says, right, we want to raise capital, right? We're going to the next stage. Nakhar, I'm sure at some point with Mentoria, you did this yourself. You said, right, we want to raise capital. At which point we say, all right, we're going to go to a buy-side counterparty. So we would go to a private equity firm. We would go to a venture capitalist. We would go to all these people and say, and we'd make all the pitch decks and, and we'd do the deal, and we'd take a certain cut of that deal. So important buy-side, sell-side difference. Coming back to the CFA, the buy-side values the CFA a lot more than the sell-side does. So if you want to be in hedge funds, asset management, stuff like that, sure, a CFA will be really good for you. It's just important to keep in mind that the CFA does, on average, take about, if you're just starting out in finance, it will take about 5 years, because the CFA level 3 exams, I think they need at least 5 years of work experience in finance. So it will take you at least 5 years. So if you're 22, 23 years old, looking for immediate benefit from a CFA, you won't really get it. You'll get it by the time you're 27, 28. I personally don't see it as huge value to me, because by the time I'm 30, I don't know if I'm going to be in finance. I don't think I will need a CFA at 30 after being in investment banking for so many years. But if you think that's something that adds value to you, and I can say it does, then you should definitely go for it. Also, it's important to know that even if you don't complete your CFA, just the fact that you're writing, or even if you do a level 1 or level 2. For example, for me, I had done a level 1 and my employer says, oh, all right, you're just being in the process of getting your CFA is seen as a good thing. So largely it's not too bad, because it's not too expensive. I think it's something like $1,500 US or $1,000 US or something like that, which compared to most other university courses is quite cheap. Or it's 2,000 US, sorry. The cost might be different now. When I wrote it, I think it was about 1,500 US. But yeah, compared to other university courses, it is cheaper. So yeah, if you think it's something that gives you benefit, go ahead. Otherwise, it's not necessary.